Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the Honest Plan Podcast. I am your host, Tiana Hicks. And y'all, I cannot believe that it's already February. Like, where is the time going? Time slow down. Honestly, where I'm at right now, I am just trying to catch up with time. So I'm doing some little exercises to help me master my time. So waking up early. Sometimes it looks like staying up later just so I accomplish the most out of my 24 hours. Some people say, you guys may have heard people say before, we all got the same 24 hours. Just how are you using it? And I've had moments where I'm like, month after month after month, my goals are not being accomplished. What is it? Like, I see other people accomplishing their goals. Why are my goals not being accomplished? And I had to really do a deep dive and just look at how I'm managing my time and managing my day. And a lot of my time was spent lounging, scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, because TikTok, it can be a little addicting sometimes. Like TikTok, you can scroll for a good couple of hours before you even realize it, before that little ad comes up and say, wait, it's time for you to take a break. I'm like, oh gosh, how long have I been on here? So I'm just trying to keep up with time. Hopefully that's where you're at right now. And just enjoying the year and not putting too much pressure on yourself. Last year, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do a lot of things. This year, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to relax a little bit and I'm going to let God move. I'm going to relax a little bit because when I'm hectic, nothing good comes from that. So I'm relaxing, just letting God take the wheel. So my brother, my sister, I hope you're doing the same. But let's get into this week's episode. I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. Contrary to popular beliefs, I believe that this one thing is one of the most biggest things that can destroy your financial journey or destroy where you are with money. It has the potential to keep you stuck way longer than you need to be. And that is the idea that you need to constantly be chasing things. Like, there's always things in your life that will get you to the next level, or there's always things in your life that will make you forget about where you are, or that will help you advance from where you are. And that one thing, I feel like, triggers the paycheck to paycheck cycle so much in the African American community, the Black community. And I see it all the time. I know for me personally, that is something that I struggled with for a long time, always feeling like I am chasing things. So instead of saving to just be saving, saving for a legit emergency, something that I'm just going to put this money to the side, or I'm just going to invest this money and I don't need it back anytime soon. I was always saving for things. And while that is still good, you get the muscle of, okay, I know how to save. I understand how to save my money. But saving for things and saving for emergencies or investments are two totally different things. And sometimes we merge the two and we're like, well, I keep saving every year, but at the end of the year, I don't have any money. So my tire blew out. I can't even pay for it. I have to put it on my credit card. Well, it's because you're not really saving. You're saving to spend. That is different, because your idea for saving money for things is, this money is only going to be in my account for a short amount of time, maybe 3 to 6 months. And then I can buy this thing and I deplete my savings. And then I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm waiting for Friday to get paid so that I can have some money for gas. I'm waiting Friday to get paid, and I'm sitting there anxiously waiting for Friday, hoping that my car doesn't give out, hoping that no emergencies take place, because I have nothing. This is the biggest thing that will keep you stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. And a lot of times when you look back at the thing that you were saving for, you're like, it wasn't even all that. Or maybe it just didn't add any value to your life. So when we're thinking about spending our money, especially if you are starting off on your financial journey, what I want you to do is label things withdraw or deposit. Is this going to be a withdrawal in my life, or a deposit in my life? Is this going to be a withdrawal from my future, from my plans, from the goals that I wrote on my vision board? Or is it going to be a deposit? And that's what you should be thinking about for every purchase. Withdrawal, deposit. No, okay, it's a deposit. I can't rationalize it. Right now, when you are trying to get your money right, think things through. Like, allow yourself some time to sit on it for a little while. Sit on it before you just spend. Because a lot of times we take the mindset or we take the emotion out of money when we're like in the moment, but later we pay the price. We pay the price. We swipe our card. We buy things. We put things on Afterpay and don't think anything about it. But in 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, we're like, why did I spend that money? Because you're having to sit in your decision. You're having to sit there and process, okay, this money could have been best used here. But instead of you learning from that and making a better decision next time, you do what you always do, which is if you're stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, it starts to be comfortable. That's no longer like a uncomfortable feeling for you because you've been living in that cycle for so long. You've already conditioned yourself to believe that this is normal. This is how it should be. Or when I'm living paycheck to paycheck cycle, oh, I know how to make it work. I know how to get through. I'm a hustler. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know how to make a way out of no way. I know how to make $10 stretch for a week. But it's like, how many times are we going to do that? Like, at what point do we say enough is enough? I'm coming for your next today. Okay? If you thought that this was going to be a feel-good message, honey, you clicked on the wrong podcast. I'm coming for your next today. At what point do we say enough is enough? I can't keep doing this every single month. I just can't. It's hurting me more than I know. It's hurting my kids, my future kids. It's hurting my dreams of becoming a homeowner. It's hurting my dreams to be debt-free. And when I say rationalize if it's a deposit or a withdrawal, I don't mean does this add money to your account or take money away from your account. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying does it add value to your life or take it away? So do you really, really like this? Like, I know some people, Starbucks is their thing. Like, I have a friend, she loves Starbucks. So when we're talking, I'm like, well, that's you. That's what gets you going in the morning. Like, when you don't have it, you can tell the way you go throughout your day. You can tell that you're frustrated. You can tell that you're tired. So that's your thing. That adds value to her life. That's a deposit for her. Sometimes, sometimes she does choose to make coffee at home, and then the other days she will get Starbucks, but she is a coffee drinker. For me, I am not really a coffee drinker. I like the taste of coffee, but I can do without it. On most days when I get coffee, I'm feeling really, really jittery and my fingers are shaking, and I hate the way it makes me feel. So although I like the taste, I don't always like what the caffeine does to me. So for me, getting Starbucks every day would be a withdrawal from my life. I would be like spending the money, and then I'm like, afterwards, I'll look at my bank statements. I'm like, why did I spend $40 each week on Starbucks when that $40 could have been going towards a debt payment, like a snowball to a debt payment? It could have been a little extra money to tithe or to save or to invest, because I would look back on it and I would regret my decision. If you look back on it and you stand 10 toes down on what you spent your money on, okay, maybe that it did add value for you. For me, a value would be getting a massage. I love getting a massage. That's my time to just be selfish with my time. Just an hour to myself to just relax, to sleep, to get pampered. That is 100% a deposit in my life. So figure out what are those things for you and be for real. Like, be serious and honest with yourself. So maybe you don't have to buy clothes every other week. If you know you have clothes in your closet that still have the tags on them. You have shoes that you've only worn twice. So yeah, you like them, but did you really need them? Were they honestly a deposit? Don't just say because they were cute, it was a deposit. No, be honest with yourself. When you're on this journey, it's you versus you. Like, if you don't have a coach, if you're not in a accountability group, you have to be the one that makes sure everything happens. Everything happens. You do not want to go into another year saying, okay, for real this time, this is going to be my year. Oh my gosh. Like, that's why I said I have chosen to figure out how to master my time a lot better, because each month I found myself, okay, seriously, this month is going to be the month. Okay, seriously, this is going to be the time. Oh yeah, I'm going to do this time. No, do it now. Do it now. Like, what is stopping you from doing it now? And that was a hard decision for myself. And I really had to do a deep dive and call myself out on my mess. Girl, no. You could have recorded more YouTube videos if you would have done this, if you would have stopped doing this, or this. I look at my screen time. Girl, why were you on the phone for 10 hours today? Crazy, 10 hours a day, 10 hours today, but you didn't have time to shoot any content? Seems like cap to me. Like, it seems like that's a lie. And you will have to call yourself out on that. I want to tell you guys a backstory. So I want to actually put this into perspective of what it looks like to always constantly be chasing stuff. So when I went off to college, it was kind of like a bittersweet feeling for me, because I was eager to be on campus, to be away, to be in a new environment, but at sometimes I would get like homesick. And so for my freshman year, I would go home every single weekend. I think my freshman year, I only stayed on campus like for the weekend, like maybe a total of like 5 or 6 times. If that, I feel like that's a stretch for my freshman year. But I went home pretty much every single weekend because I lived in a dorm and I hated having to share a bathroom with like 20 other women. I just did not like it. So I would just go home every weekend and be in my own bed, in my own shower, in my own bathroom. I didn't have to worry about any other mess. So I had friends that had cars their freshman year, and sometimes I would ride back home with them. If they were busy or they weren't going home that weekend, I would get on the train. And let me just say, there was nothing wrong with the train. The train ride was maybe like $15 or $20. I would get home within like an hour and a half. It wasn't really anything wrong with it. But me, being me, and always chasing things, like always looking for the thing to make my life easier, to all the stuff. I was saving up money to buy my first car. And my family already told me that if you just wait, even just talking about it just makes me want to punch myself. But if you just wait, get good grades your freshman year, the last day of school, we will buy you a car. That's what my family said to me. We will buy you a car on your last day of school, your freshman year. I had already made it in my mind. Waiting until the last day of school wouldn't work for me. I was tired of the bus. I needed to be in my own car, have control over my own radio, and go when I wanted to go and not having to rush from class to the train station. I had already conditioned myself to believe that the train was so horrible. I only thought of negative things about the train. I didn't think of, okay, listen, it's only $20. Like, that is so cheap. $20. It gets you there and back safely. The train station is like 4 minutes from campus. You don't have to worry about gas. You don't have to worry about maintenance. I didn't really have like a steady job. I was like doing, little retail jobs and stuff like that, but nothing like a 9-to-5. So it's not like I even had money to keep up with the car, but I had conditioned myself to believe that I could do it. So I saved up $2,500 to buy a car. I get to the car dealership. I had already been shopping online, like window shopping online for the car. I knew the exact car that I wanted. I got there. the car was marked for $2,500. So this is how like unprepared I was. This is how you know I had no business buying this car. I get there and I'm like, okay, I have $2,500. You said this car is worth $2,500. Let me buy it. Like I probably had $2,515 in my account. Let's be honest. I had $2,515 in my account. So the guy's talking to me. He's like, okay, after tax, registration, all the stuff, the car is going to be like close to like $2,900. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that. I literally only have $2,500. I had the cash in my hand and everything. I'm going to insert a picture so that you guys know I'm not lying. This actually happened. I was like 18 or 19 years old. I had the cash in my, a deposit slip that they give you from the bank when you go and take money out. I got out exactly $2,500 because I just knew I was going to give the man cash. He was going to give me the car. I was going to go about my business. Okay. But the guy really wanted the car off the lot. So he marked it down so that after the taxes and the tags, it would come up to exactly $2,500. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, this must be a miracle. God is looking out for me. Yes. Like I knew I was right. Like I knew my family didn't know what they were talking about and this would work. So I gave him the money. He gives me the keys. I drive off the lot. You guys, I drive off the lot and the car literally was on E, like EE, like gas light on. And I had to go straight to the gas station, like straight there. Mind you, I only had $15 left in my account. I put $10 in the tank and then used $5 to go to Bojangles. And then my account was on E. My account was on zero. I had nothing left, but I had the stuff. I had the item that was going to make my life so much better. I had that, but I had nothing left to show for it. So I had to go to work on my retail jobs. I was working at a grocery store and I was working at at Ulta at the time. Had to go back to those jobs and make money, wait for my paycheck until I had enough money. But I was so used to that. Like I was so used to buying things. Like I was so used to making money, saving money, buying things, depleting my account, starting all over. Like I thought that's the way of life. I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Like you go to work, you get paid, you save your check, you buy what you want, deplete the account, you start all over. Like, was that not what it was? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And with me being so anxious and wanting to jump the gun and not like listening to the wisdom of my family members, this car ended up being the biggest lemon, the biggest pain in my butt. The biggest pain in my butt. 2 weeks after buying the car, my check engine light came on. I had no money. Like, I did not have any money to get the car really serviced. So I took it back to the guy that I purchased the car from. And he says to me, well, this is a as-is dealership. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Here I am. I have no education, nothing, no background on vehicles. I didn't know what in the world that meant. He's like, oh, like it just comes as it is. Like once you drive it off the lot, it's yours. We don't do anything to fix these cars up. And I'm like, so you knew the check engine light was on and you sold me the car? He's like, yeah, but I thought it was going to be fixed. From there, it was literally downhill. The car constantly needed servicing. The oil changes were so expensive for a 19-year-old college kid with not a real job. And every time I would try to get the car fixed, they would quote me like $4,000, $4,600. And I'm like, I can't rationalize spending that because the car only cost me $2,500. Like, I'm paying you more to fix the car than I even paid to buy the car. And as you guys can imagine, the car didn't last long. I don't even think that I had the car for a full year before I was back in the same boat, asking my family members to save me once again because I bit off more than I can chew. And this time I had to practice discipline and patience and wait until it was the right time for them to purchase me a car. Not on my timing, because no one told me to do that in the first place. Not on my timing, because I couldn't afford it in the first place. So sometimes, you guys, we are so caught up on the thing, the item, the stuff, and we think it's going to be the next blessing in our life, and it ends up being the biggest curse. And then we're stuck asking people and praying to God to help deliver me from the thing that I prayed for. The thing that I willingly led myself into. That is the biggest thing that will ruin your relationship with money. Thinking that you only have to save in order to spend. While it is okay to save to spend, also save just to save. Also save just to invest. Every dollar that you have does not have to leave. And then we do things like saying, oh, well, I can't afford this. And the this will be the thing that you actually probably really need. Like, that will help you in your career, which could be like an investment. Sometimes, especially for our community, I feel like we have a hard time understanding investing in ourselves. We haven't really gotten a clear understanding of what that means and what that looks like. If we cannot see the investment, then it's not really an investment. But investing in yourself is the best investment that you can ever do. Investing in your education, investing in your career, investing in your personal finances, those are all things that are so important. I have people come to me, Tiana, I can't afford that. I can't afford to work with you. I really, really want to work with you. This is the year that I want to get my money right. I've tried so many times by myself and I know that I can't do it. I know for sure that I need your help. I've listened to the testimonials. They all are speaking to me. I just can't afford it right now. And then I ask them, okay, how can we make sure that you do afford it? Instead of just giving up on, oh, I can't afford to invest in myself. Just how we get creative to invest or to spend our money in things and then deplete our account, get creative when it comes to investing in yourself. What do you have to cut back on for a little while to make sure that you can have that money? Because investing in yourself has the greatest return. Investing in your career, investing in your personal finances has the greatest return. And it does look like a sacrifice. It looks like a sacrifice. But if you take time to really learn how to gain control over your money and you're not in this same cycle anymore, and you're able to look back at this year and say, wow, for the first time, I was able to save $5,000 this year, $10,000 this year. I paid off 2 credit cards. I'm on the road to becoming a homeowner. My credit score has increased. There's no price tag on that. Like, that is just something that is priceless. Financial anxiety and financial stress is so real. And sometimes we think that we can avoid it by avoiding it or acting like it's not bothering us or acting like it's not a problem, then it'll just go away. But avoiding it actually adds to the problem because there's a cycle here too. Let me walk you through it. So the cycle is, okay, I am fed up with how I am with money. My money's not working for me. I barely have enough money to make ends meet. Things have to change. That's step one. Step two is, okay, I am starting to download the free budgeting apps, the free templates, and I am binge watching all of the content on TikTok, YouTube, podcasts that are teaching me 5 ways to save this and 8 ways to pay off debt faster. Step 2. Step 3 is I'm implementing this, I'm seeing results, and everything is starting to look good for me. Step 4, you start to put your guard down and you're like, I've mastered this. I've only been doing it for a month, 2 months. I saved my first $1,000. I saved my first $500. Oh, I'm mastering this. I can start to tweak the things that I learned from binge watching the TikToks and the YouTubes and all that stuff. I know they said do it this way, but I'm going to do it this way instead because I've mastered this and I've already started to see the results. Okay. Step 5. Whoa. What's happening? I just had $500 in my account. Where did it go? Before you know it, you stop looking at your bank statements because you know things are starting to change. You know that you just was on a high because you were starting to see results. And you know that what you're doing right now is actually erasing all of the good decisions that you just made. And so you're avoiding it. You're avoiding checking your account every Saturday night. Once you come back home with your friends, you're feeling good, you're lit, music was just right, food was good, the vibe was on point. Sunday morning, dare not look at that account and figure out how much money I have left. Step 6, I'm depressed. I'm feeling anxious. And I'm back where I started. That's a cycle. That's a cycle. And I know that cycle far too well. You cannot tell me that that's not how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. When you are trying to learn something new, you either have to invest your time or your money. You have to invest your time or your money. There's no other way around it. So either you're going to get familiar with how money works, with watching things on YouTube, listening to the podcast, reading the books, going to the free masterclasses or whatever you think is best for you to do it at a price that fits your budget. Either you can do that or you can invest in an expert that can cut down that research time for you and get you closer to your goals at a shorter amount of time. It has to be one of those two. But if you do go the route where you're investing your time, more of your time in doing your own research, please listen to the advice of the experts. A lot of the times, people that are teaching you this content have been practicing not only on themselves, but on their clients for a long time before they felt like they got to mastery level. You cannot do something for 2 months, 1 month, and feel like you've mastered it and you can let your guard down. Don't give in that quickly. Do it for 6 months to a year before you start wanting to tweak things. Like, just do it exactly how they say and see how it works out for you. But once you start to piecemeal things together, what you get is not what you really wanted when you take one piece from this person, one piece from that person, because they gave you a full platter. They gave you a full course meal, meaning it all went together. There were probably steps. For me and for my coaching, people can't take my step 5 and maybe include it to someone else's step 1, because my step 1 might be totally different. So you have to go through a pipeline to get the results that I'm saying that you're going to get. You cannot take bits and pieces of my process and then say, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get. Well, because you didn't do it how I taught it. You have to do it the way that I teach it if you're trying to get the results that I said you would get. You invest your time or you invest your money. This year, I want us, our generation and our culture, to understand the importance of investing in yourself. I don't know where in the world I was going on with that. We just went off on a tangent, but I felt like that was very important. And I hope you guys grasp what I'm trying to say. I'm not doing this to be salesy. While I am a money coach, I'm not teaching you this so that you can throw all of your money at me. If you feel like I'm the coach for you, great. I'm just saying, understand, in order to really learn something new, you might have to do one of those two things. I've invested thousands of dollars in coaches to help me create my coaching program. So I've invested. I know my very first investment in my business. Well, it was maybe my second. It was my second investment in my business. I invested $3,000, a little over $3,000 to a coach. And she helped me make $10,000 in less than the first 3 months of working with her. I went from making, you guys, listen to me. And it was so scary when I gave her that $3,000. I was scared to death. I've never paid anybody $3,000. I had never even spent that type of money on anything at one time before. Never. And so after having this call with her and listening to how she can help me and what her program did, once she told me the price tag, I got sticker shock. At first, I was like, oh, I can't afford that. I initially went from having an abundant mindset, visualizing me reaching new heights with my business, visualizing me working with new clients, visualizing me having a well-designed program. I went from that to clutching my pearls, money tight to my chest, oh my God, you're trying to steal from me. How dare you ask me for $3,000? What do you think this is? I literally went from that. The switch was just so drastic. And she had to talk me off the ledge. She had to rationalize to me or to help me understand what it looks like to invest in myself. A lot of us, have went to college, but that's not money that came right out of our pocket initially. We're paying on the back end. We're paying Sally Mae. So we see it now, but initially we were like, yes, we're going off to college. We got our friends there. We're going to be partying. We're going to get some good grades. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to, play the sports. We were just all in. But what if they would have led with, give me the $40,000 first, then you can get in? It would have been a different story. It would have been a different story if they said, pay me the $40,000 in full, then I'll give you your education. And so once we get out of that environment and we get into a world where investing in ourselves looks like we pay someone first to get a certain outcome, sometimes that can be scary. I understand. I was there. But what I'm telling you is that it's necessary. I can't tell you how many free downloads I went to, how many free workshops I went to, and I just knew this is going to be the one thing that took my business to the next level. While I may have gotten like little gems here and there, it never was a complete meal for me to digest to really, really move my business forward. It never was. And also with the free classes and things like that, I didn't take it serious. I was in the class, I was texting, I'm talking to my husband, I'm, doing homework. I didn't care because I had no attachment to it. Like, I didn't put anything in. Like, I was, grateful for the person that was on the other side of the computer, but when it came down to it, I didn't care either way. I would be late sometimes because I didn't have to exchange anything. Like, I did not have to give up anything in order to be there and get the knowledge. But the second that I did, the second that I gave up that $3,000 and was in that coaching program, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me and it clicked. Oh, okay. Now it's making sense. Now I understand why I had to do that. Now I understand the importance of being on time. Because I paid a lot of money. I have to. I have to be here on time. I have to do the homework that she's giving me. I have to do the lessons her way to get the results that I really, really wanted. And in less than 3 months, I had gained 10 clients and hit my first $10,000 month. So I had a $7,000 return on this investment. I paid her $3,000. I ended up making 10 just in 1 month from that. So, and it's not something that after working with her, the knowledge went away. I still have it. I'm still actively getting clients. I still actively have this program fleshed out. So now looking at it, 3 years later, this $3,000 investment has made me thousands of dollars. It has given me dozens of clients, and it's changed dozens of lives because of an investment that I decided to make. So when it's your turn, think like that. Like, okay, this is something really important to me. I have to make this work. I am going to invest. I'm going to come into it with an open mind. I'm going to be present. I am going to allow myself to learn because I know abundance is on the other side of this. Of course, do your due diligence. Make sure that the coach is for you. Not everyone online is trustworthy. That's up to you to do your due diligence to make sure that you're getting the right person. But understand that many times abundance is on the other side of investing in yourself. So you guys, that is all I have for this week in this episode. I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. If you have, please tag me in this on Instagram at The Honest Plan and let me know what was your biggest takeaway. But I love you guys so much and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.